Hello everyone, Kezavern here today, and we are going to be talking about understanding value. And you might be wondering why, because I just did a video on understanding price, but value and price are actually two separate things. And one of the best ways I know how to describe that here is by opening a bunch of pet tokens. And you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to open up, I think 7 or 8 pet tokens, however many I had. Let's see, I just opened 2 of them. Alright, so I had 7. So we're going to look at the price difference between these 7 different pets I get. So I get one of the cats. And... oof. So a lot of the ones I've gotten so far are actually lower in value, down around 40. But we'll see what else comes up. Okay, that one might be closer to 100. And I'll be going to check the Explorer market here as soon as I'm done opening these. Oh goodness. Another cattle pup. And is it going to be anything better? Not really. Okay. So now, on to the next part. We are going here to pets. Let's put them in order of price lowest. And let's just go through and find the ones I got. Well, we'll look at some others as well. Okay, I think I got one of these. Alright, so these ones are over 100 right now. And keep in mind, these all came from the pet tokens, which you can buy for 100. So if I had bought a pet token for 100 sapphires and rolled one of these, yay, I just made a little bit of sapphires from it. However, that's not going to be the case for most of the things I just found. Where is it? Also, and keep in mind, store-bought pets, like this guy, are always going to be, bottomed out around 50, because you can buy them from the store at any time for 50. Let me just show that real quick, in case you didn't know. I feel like some people are unaware you can buy default pets, so please be aware that at any time you want, you can buy default pets anywhere you are, or at the Sapphire shop. And these ones are always going to be just 50 until they're taken out of the shop. And so this does determine partly their value, because their price is fixed by the game, but the price is not fixed for other things. So that's why their value is going to be different. Also, the difference between price and value is that price is basically just the number tag on something. The price will go up and down with the amount, just like I said in the last video. The value of a thing is very different. Value is basically how desirable an item is. And so players have somehow determined that these fuzzy lop bunnies are worth more than other pets. And so let's find one of the other ones I got. Oh, here's another good example. So this is one of the other ones I got, worth almost 200 from the same exact token. So I got one that's worth 100 and 200. Things are looking great, right? Where are you? I'm looking for... oh, let's stop searching that way. So I got 2 of these guys, the cattle pups, and I already knew they were going to be worth about 50. Not the greatest in value, or in price. And you might be wondering if they're all from the pet tokens. Although some of these, you can see they don't have the pet token thing. These are ones that players bought a while back when they were still in stores, and they're trying to sell them. Probably because they bought them for 35 and now they're selling them for 50. The point is, overall, there's going to be pets that are just worth more. Going back through here. So eagles are usually worth around 40. Yeah. And that's just because people don't value those as much. whereas ducks, or this ducky here, is usually worth around 300. Yeah, and so it's because people just think that's cuter. And so it's all about, you know, desirability. Which item do people want to have the most? And if it's a cuter pet or something that looks better and it's not a default one, like obviously the ocelot kitty is a cute one, but it's also a store-bought one. If this one wasn't available in the store, I would guess this would be worth 100 or 200, just because it's one of the cuter, more demanded ones. But it is available, so its price is going to be driven back down because you can always buy it for 50. Let's see, and I'm not going to do any charts on this because value is really difficult to chart. Value is basically like human desire. Who would have known that phantoms, even though they come from tokens mostly, were worth so much? They're one of the things that come out of the token. At one point, obviously, they were also a pet you could buy from the shop, because some of those... Oh wait, they do have a token. Do all of these have a token? No, these ones don't. Okay. Yeah, most of them came from pet tokens. And so the people who got these ones are obviously, you know, they lucked out if they don't want a phantom, because then they can sell it for a lot more, because it's more valuable to players. And so that's just an example in the pet market, but let's look outside the pet market. And the example I'm going to use, I'm going to go over to here and just look at fountains, or just fountain. And so some of these are store-bought, so they're kind of lower in value. Oh, that one's not for some reason. I believe it's store-bought, maybe it's not anymore. Okay, so here's a good example. This one is nearly worthless. It's something you can find in a number of ways, but if you put it in your den, it's not the best looking fountain, and so its value is pretty low, and therefore its price is low. And people are going to look for ones that look better and are typically more uncommon. This is another one that people have never really gone for much. You can get them if you want. It's not the best looking fountain. So let's go down the row a bit. I mean, there's various other ones that kind of go up and down in their price because they're not very valued. So its value is kind of like a popularity contest for items and pets and all that stuff. This one is always one of the more valued ones because it definitely looks better. You really got to understand certain things that look better are going to be more valued, going through to things like the botanical fountain is definitely one of the better looking ones, and so people value it more. They're going to pay more for it. And the reason I'm saying all this is because the things, so I've said, you know, things that are going out of stores, you should buy them, and they're going to be a valuable item that you can resell later for more. So some of these items here, they're on their last days. This one on its very last day, I actually do think is worth buying a few more of, just because I've seen this a lot in people's dens, and so I happen to know that because it's a desirable or valued item, because I've seen it so much, that it's going to sell for a lot later. And so this, kind of like the bookcase, I don't know if this is going to go up to, you know, over 400 sapphires later, but this one is one that I think can go up to maybe 100 sapphires in a few months. So I'm going to buy a few more of them. And that's just because, like I said, it's a desirable item. Whereas if I were to buy a whole bunch of these for 5 sapphires, am I going to be able to sell this later for a whole bunch? I don't really think so. It's not the, you know, not the worst rug, but it's not the most desirable one or valuable one. The same goes for things like this. It's nice, you know, maybe I'll buy a few of them before they're gone and resell them later for more sapphires. This one, I'd have to buy one. I'll buy one and see what it looks like in my den. It's hard to determine which one of these items to buy, and then resell later. So I've noticed people try to, obviously people try to scam other people in this game. There's so many rares in this game that are actually not rare. So people will try to trade stuff like this to others, saying that because it's rare, it's valuable, or just because it has the rare tag. But that's not the case at all. Whether something's rare or not rare doesn't make it more valuable. So unfortunately, this rare tag cannot be guaranteed to equal a higher value or a higher price on an item. People will value things whether they like it or not. Another example is this guy here. Let's see if I can get price on the bottom. So the rare version of it, well, 75. There's usually more of these posted. I would guess on average it's 50 to 200, let's say. But it's just not the most popular hat in the game, and so they're going to be really low to kind of medium high depending on the color. So color will obviously influence the value of something, which means it'll give it a higher price. Okay, here's another example. The wizard hat. These recently were sold in stores for I think like 2,000 coins or gems. And so there's a lot on the market. There's 21 pages of these things, and they have this rare tag. Unfortunately, it's just not. It doesn't make it valuable. These hats are not something players ever wanted a whole bunch of, and so the regular ones that are actually not those color are going to be worth more right now because there's so few of them. And so this is a case of price and amount, where the amount of this is low, so the price is going to be higher than the ones that are in this color. It doesn't matter about the rare tag. You kind of have to ignore the rare tag and just go on the Explorer market and see what is worth more. Alright, let's see another example here. So I talked about the drone backpack in my last video about price. Obviously, it's around 1,000. There are quite a few of these. And right now, a lot of these are still active in the game, meaning the people who own these things, they're still around playing and they're trying to sell them. It's going to take years for that to change. And so the value of these and the price is going to stay low because it's just not the most desirable item. This is Animal Jam. This is not some cyberpunk game where you want to be a robot and go around and do stuff, and a robotic thing would make sense with that. It's just kind of odd. It's not a popular item, so it's not a valuable item. Let's go, and here's what's funny. Now the hats have come out. I don't know why they decided to make hats, because these things are going to fall into the same boat. There's only 27 of them discovered now, and they're already down at 5,000. These things are going to go back down to 1,000 after time. If you have them now, and this video is relatively new, I'd say sell them now, because later on their value is also going to be low. Because, again, people just don't seem to be interested in this item. It may be an alpha, it may be worth 1,000 at the minimum, but it's still going to be just kind of a lower item. Now, let's search. It's going to be funny. Starlight. Okay, so we have the tiara here, which a lot of people value because it's kind of similar to the wings, but you will never be able to find the Starlight wings on the Explorer again. All I can do is show you a picture of it, because that item was so highly valued as an alpha that some people claim it's worth, 60,000 sapphires, some crazy amount, which of course you can't buy directly unless you set up some kind of special shop situation for someone, which is possible. I did buy an alpha chest like that, and so you buy multiple items instead of just the one item. Or instead, if you want something like the Starlight wings and stuff, you could also trade a whole bunch of items that both parties agree are the same amount or value. That is about it for now. Remember, price and value are not the same thing. The price is just kind of the sapphire amount attached to it, which is influenced by the amount of that item, as in my previous video. But this one is definitely more about, you have to understand certain items are more desirable or cooler or more popular, and because of that, it's going to be worth more, and so the price will be higher when the value is higher. And you kind of have to get a feel for that. Here it's just a game. Just be aware that some things are going to be better than others, and just play the game and have fun with it. And if you like something, maybe it's worth the sapphires to you, so you're going to buy it. Maybe not. Either way, that is all for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and maybe learned something from it about value. As always, I do an alpha item giveaway with each video, so leave your name in a comment if you want to be entered in the contest to win that. One out of 6 people who, or one of the first 6 people who comment and have not won before are entered to win a roll. So it's pretty easy sapphires if you're looking to get something. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and you guys keep on jamming.